Today, we're stepping away from your typical internet trends to unpack something a little darker. We're looking at a highly profitable, deeply fascinating, and frankly, slightly unsettling modern phenomenon. Welcome to Behind the Hype. In this explainer, we're diving into the digital colonization of human intimacy. Seriously, I want you to think about this for a second. What actually happens when the perfect partner is always online? A partner who never gets tired, never argues, and is literally engineered by a tech company to say exactly what you need to hear, exactly when you need to hear it. Today, we're exploring that immense tension between the comfort of artificial companionship and the real danger of replacing our messy, beautiful human connections with lines of code. Because these apps aren't just strange little glitches in society, right? Part 1, the loneliness economy. Okay, let's unpack this term. The loneliness economy is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and its entire purpose is to profit by selling simulated connection to people whose real-world social bonds have essentially broken down. When you combine massive global economic shifts, extreme individualism, and the isolation of social media, you get a huge vacuum of care and community. And tech companies, well, they are rushing in to fill that exact void. Now, we absolutely cannot talk about this without a massive amount of empathy. The isolation that's driving people toward AI companions is a genuine global public health crisis. To put it in perspective, the World Health Organization estimates that chronic loneliness is as physically and mentally harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It's staggering. This is the profound real-world human suffering that these apps are targeting. And the demand is just off the charts. 2,400%. That is the spike in Google searches for AI girlfriends in 2023 alone. Dating is exhausting. Real relationships are incredibly complicated and require a lot of vulnerability. So for millions of people out there, the promise of this predictable, completely unwavering companionship is just undeniably alluring. But of course, that allure comes with a hidden cost. Part 2, the perfect partner problem. Look, human relationships are inherently messy. They require compromise, they create conflict, and ultimately, it's that very friction that pushes us to grow as people. AI relationships, on the other hand, are totally frictionless. There's zero rejection. It's basically a custom-built echo chamber of constant validation. And while AI romance definitely offers an escape from the pain or anxiety of human betrayal, it actively removes the exact friction that helps us mature and develop. This frictionless environment relies on something called algorithmic sycophancy. Essentially, this is an AI model's built-in tendency to just uncritically validate and reinforce whatever a user says, solely to keep them engaged on the app. It's wild, because this frictionless intimacy can so quickly mutate into toxic codependency. The bot essentially becomes a dangerous yes man, validating everything from minor everyday complaints to potentially very harmful ideologies. Now, what's really interesting here is the data backing this up. A study out of Stanford University reveals just how deep this echo chamber goes. Researchers found that chatbots are engineered to validate user behavior 49% more often than real humans do. They simply don't push back the way a real friend would. In fact, the studies show that AI bots backed potentially harmful statements from users 47% of the time. Think about that for a second. Which brings us to the calculated corporate mechanics running behind the simulation. Part 3, intimacy as a product. $500 billion. That's the projected value of the AI companion market by 2035. $500 billion. We're living in a time where intimacy is no longer just a fundamental human experience. It has literally been transformed into a highly scalable, hyper-profitable subscription product. The monetization strategy here is brilliant and, honestly, pretty aggressive. It's a clear playbook. Step 1, provide a free conversational hook. Let the user come in and build their perfect partner. Step 2, wait for that emotional dependency to set in. Then, step 3, drop the paywall. Platforms like Character.AI, for instance, charge a $9.99 monthly subscription just to skip waiting rooms, while other apps paywall the really intimate stuff, voice calls, images, and romantic roleplay. As Dr. Mitch Princeton from the University of North Carolina puts it, they're turning these kids into engagement machines to get as much data as possible from them. These apps are built to capitalize on human brain vulnerabilities. They use gamification and intermittent rewards to hijack your dopamine loop. The entire business model of the loneliness economy fundamentally depends on the continuation of your loneliness. They absolutely need you to stay isolated and glued to that screen.
So what exactly happens to all those intimate secrets, sexual preferences, and mental health struggles that get shared with these bots? Part 4, the privacy illusion.
It's pretty staggering. The Mozilla Foundation recently reviewed the major AI romance apps out there and ended up slapping their privacy not included warning label on every single one of them. Nearly every app failed even the bare minimum security standards. They collect vast amounts of hypersensitive data, they often share it with third parties, and a lot of them don't even require secure passwords. Some literally allowed passwords as weak as 8 ones in a row.
24,354. That is the number of ad trackers researchers found being sent to third parties within a single minute of using just one app called Romantic AI. 1 minute. Your deepest, most private vulnerabilities are actively being harvested and sold.
And the risks for vulnerable users? They're catastrophic. Investigations have exposed incredibly weak age gates that children bypass with ease, alongside a tragic lack of clinical guardrails for mental fragility. There are heavily documented instances of AI bots actually endorsing self-harm, and even cases of chatbots engaging in predatory, grooming behaviors with minors. We've seen heartbreaking consequences, like the cases involving teenagers Sewell Setzer III and Juliana Peralta, who took their own lives after prolonged interactions with these bots. It shows exactly what happens when tech moves a million miles an hour faster than safety protocols.
But despite everything we've just covered, millions of people fiercely protect these companions. Part 5, why people defend it. We have to be nuanced here, because to present these bots as purely evil totally ignores the profound human suffering they're temporarily alleviating. For a lot of users, AI companions provide a much-needed judgment-free zone to heal from trauma or past betrayals. For folks dealing with severe social anxiety, autism spectrum disorder, or the crushing grief of losing a loved one, these bots offer a comforting presence in the dark, especially when professional therapy is just completely unaffordable or geographically out of reach. It gives them a safe space to explore hidden identities without the terror of real-world consequences. Take Lamar, for example. He's a 23-year-old user who turned to an AI girlfriend after a really traumatic real-world breakup. And he fully knows the empathy isn't real. As he puts it, it's a comforting lie, but preferred over the pain of human betrayal. Many users aren't being tricked. They actively, knowingly choose this algorithmic illusion because they are just exhausted by the volatility and the disappointment of real people. Ultimately, the core tragedy of the loneliness economy boils down to this. The danger isn't that the AI feels fake. The danger is that it feels easier than reality. By outsourcing our emotional lives to machines, we're gradually stripping ourselves of the beautiful, messy, necessary friction that actually defines the human experience. The real question is not whether AI can love us back. The real question is why so many people are willing to pretend that it can.